StreamYard, my normal streaming situation, has a complete global outage. So I had to leave StreamYard and use Riverside. So I have absolutely no idea if this is going to work. But luckily, I do have another platform that does live streaming, and it's also going to be recording. So let's see if people can find me over there. Um, Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, June 12th. Oh my goodness. I have no idea how this is going to work. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to see comments using this, but okay, live stream chat. I see people mildly. Woohoo. I see you guys. I don't know if I can. Okay, I see some comments. Hopefully people find us over here. We'll see. We'll see if people find us. Good luck to us. This is going to be an interesting show. It's throwing me off completely. So stay on your toes, you guys. We have a lot to talk about today. I don't even know how this is going to work. Like totally using a new platform. I don't even know how I'm going to do screen shares. I wanted to share clips, but you know what? We're going to roll with the punches, I guess. I have no idea. Good luck to us. Welcome to the show. Can I even share comments? Oh, I can share comments. Pamela says First Live. Welcome. Welcome to the show, First Live, Pamela. I can't even I can't even do my song. I don't even have my song here. I'm so sad, you guys. Oh well, we'll have to sing. It's your daily dose of Donna. I hope everyone is happy to be here. Okay, so thank you for all your birthday messages yesterday. It was my birthday. I turned 44. It was it was a lovely day. I got to enjoy it with my family last night. I went out to dinner. My parents were on a 1-month European getaway, so they got to come back to Los Angeles and got to hang out with me here in LA, and my sister and her kids. And the only person we were missing was Lance, my husband. But we're going to South Carolina this weekend, and I'm going to see Charleston for the first time. So I'm getting so many DMs from people that are telling me what to do in Charleston. I'm really excited about it. And I've never been to that part of the country. So we have an Airbnb. We're going to do all the things. I mean, we'll be with our kids. Like, we can't do all the things, but we'll have as good of a time as possible. Now, I'm a little concerned because according to the schedule, Karen Reed is going to be sending, well, according to the schedule, Karen Reed's jury is going to have the, what's it called? They're going to be starting to deliberate tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's Friday. So we're going to talk about Karen Reed. Like I said, I'm a little discombobulated here, so I'm going to get organized. Don't you worry. But we're going to talk about the Karen Reed trial and the schedule and everything that I learned about what happened today on the trial. I wasn't watching live because my boyfriend, Alan Jackson, wasn't there. And when he's not there, like, why do I have to be, right? But I did watch what was going on, and we're going to talk about that. I still feel like it's really corrupt what's going on. And I'm also going to show you, if I can, a little bit of clips of Bryan Freedman talking last night about what his plan is and what, where Justin is and where they're thinking about everything, while Blake Lively is doing her victory tours, as what he's calling it, as she's just promoting booze. I mean, she and Ryan, it's so crazy if you actually think about it, because imagine I was here. Can you imagine? Can you imagine it? Woo. By the way, you guys, if you are here, one of you, I don't know who would be here, but if one of you would love to, go to the other link that I was supposed to do my show on and post it in the comments over there. That would be amazing. Post this link over in the other show's link in the comments, just to tell people to come on over here. That would be awesome. So what I think is, no, I'm definitely going to do my show next week. Don't worry. So you'll still see me tomorrow. Next week, I'll do my show from there. So, yes, thank you. Thank you. Patricia says, can someone put a link in the other stream for people? Absolutely. Well, one thing about this issue is, this platform that I'm on, is it doesn't update the chat like the other place. So I have to keep on scrolling down. It's killing me. I'm a creature of habit. Like, I'm getting thrown off. I don't like it. I need my normal thing. But I Googled it. StreamYard, which is my normal platform, is having a nationwide outage and it's connected to Google Cloud. So I don't know. But I was in conspiracy theory hole last night thinking like the world is over. So this may be the last program you're going to watch before the end of your life. So I hope it will be worth it. All right. Um, okay, so let's get into a couple of the stories of everything that we talked about yesterday and where we're going with everything. So, because I have a bunch of things I want to talk about, and not just Blake and not just Karen Reed. We're expanding. We are, um, our tentacles are going on out. We're going to talk about Alex Cooper. We're going to talk about Paige DeSorbo, and we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Miami. We're talking about it all. Mention it all, Bethany. Okay, so um, last night, when I was getting ready for my birthday dinner, I happened to catch Bryan Freedman on the Megyn Kelly show. I guess Megyn Kelly is on vacation, but she pre-recorded this video probably yesterday at some point. And she and Bryan Freedman do have a relationship because he represented her at some point when she was going through her big firing at NBC. I don't really know exactly what happened there, but apparently, it was a very big case. This was years ago, and a lot of you guys probably know the details of it. But they have a working relationship. She was actually one of the first people that gave him a really big interview back in January, the beginning of January, kind of when we all jumped onto this case. And I remember when I first posted a clip of this, of him speaking on Megyn Kelly, the amount of shit that I got for posting Megyn Kelly. Blasphemy. How dare you post Megyn Kelly? And then like a week later, everyone was posting Candace Owens. It's so funny. But I really appreciate everything that he says. Number one, he's a straight shooter. Number two, he seems, and I don't want to just say he seems like a kind man. I don't know Bryan Freedman, okay? I don't know any of these people, but I know two women personally who I really like, who I actually really care for, who know Bryan Freedman personally. One woman I've known for years, who I've worked out with for years, is very close with his wife. And actually, his wife went to the same elementary school as I did. Obviously, they're older than me, but went to the same elementary school with me. And this woman has told me that personally, Bryan Freedman is a wonderful human being, like a really nice person. So that gives me a good feeling that he actually is. And then another woman who I know, a baseball friend of my son's mom, has a very close friend who is a family member of Bryan Freedman and has said the exact same thing as well. So I don't think I'm talking out of my ass. I hate to say that on a show, but I don't think I'm talking like out of nowhere when I say I truly get a good mensch vibe from Bryan Freedman. I think there's certain people that you get a vibe of good heart and like a good energy from certain people versus like shady energy. Even when you're watching the trial of Karen Reed, like you get a good, and maybe that's just defense versus prosecution lawyers, and I don't know, maybe, or maybe that's just how we feel because we care so much about the person that they're representing versus the person that they're defending or prosecuting. I don't know, but that's just how I feel. I just do. So I I like that he is very, very clear and very strong on the fact that he believes Justin is a good person. And he says this over and over. He's very clear about his intentions and how it's not about the money and it's not about just like getting out of the lawsuit, how it's about proving his innocence. And it's not about just like, Megan even gave him a few times to say, like, don't you think that Justin has already won in public opinion? And Bryan was like, "It's not about winning in public opinion. It's about clearing his name from this horrible, uh, you know, label, being identified as a sexual harasser when he, in fact, never did that because it's that damaging to Justin's personality and Justin's, you know, just himself as a person. He doesn't want to ever be labeled as that. And that to me is a big indicator. Like, you don't see the same with Jared Leto's of the world. You don't see the same with Casey Affleck's of the world or all those disgusting men, you know? You don't. I feel like Harvey Weinstein is like not worried about like how he's labeled. He just wants to get out of prison. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's see if I can do a share here. I think I actually can. Let's see if I can do a share of okay. I think I can do a share of I was like panicking when I was starting of the interview. I have a couple moments I want to show you. I'm sure a lot of you guys, for those of you guys that haven't, hold on. I hope that, like I said, just bear with me here because this is a little bit new for me. Um, can you guys see this? Yeah, you guys can see this, right? Okay. There we go. So let's go to just a couple moments where he's talking about it. The first one is talking a little bit about 47.1 and this whole the whole uh ruling of 47.1.
Harassment or sexual assault, which in most cases is a really important law. In most cases, it is a really important conceptual case, and it really protects the victims. But you got to ask yourself here: who's the real victim? The real victim is Justin and the others, and it's because they've been wrongfully accused. And ask yourself, when you've been in a situation where you've been wrongfully accused, how do you defend yourself? Are you allowed to defend yourself? Are you allowed to lead with truth? Because that's all that's been done here is putting everything out on a website, putting everything out for the public, not hiding anything, and saying, here it is. Was there sexual harassment? Was there a smear campaign?
And 47.1 seems to say, this new California law, if you're an alleged sexual harassment or sexual assault or hostile work environment plaintiff, and somebody who you've accused comes back at you saying, I didn't do it, and what you're alleging is defamatory of me, thanks to this statute, that person defending themselves saying, I didn't, and what you say is defamation, can get in a lot of trouble potentially, could have to pay that person's legal fees if the counterclaim gets dismissed, could have to pay triple the legal fees potentially and punitive damages. So the California statute almost makes it like extremely dangerous for someone in Justin Baldoni's position to actually defend himself against a sexual harassment complaint.
Well, it's not dangerous if you know you're right. So this case has always been about facts. It hasn't been about victory laps. It hasn't been about Saturday Night Live tours. It hasn't been about the People 100, or the Time 100. It hasn't been about the show, and it hasn't been about the misrepresentations. It's been about the facts. We've been in this case for a while now. Have we seen text messages? Have we seen evidence? Have we seen receipts? No. You've only seen them from one side, and it's been out there. And what we've seen from Blake Lively is her showing, who she really is. And
I like what he says about, the whole number one, he and I both say, a lot. But how he says it's not about SNL, it's not about the victory laps, it's not about the victory tours and the Time 100, it's about the facts. And it's not a devastating thing unless you're right. It's so scary that anyone can just say, this person sexually harassed me. And the person who gets that claim or gets that accusation against them has to just take it and live with it. Because if they dare defend themselves, they could get not only slapped down by the courts, but what she's saying, what the ruling is they can potentially have to pay 3 times the legal fees. 3 times. Isn't that wild? That's an insane amount of money. Okay, so then he did say, and I posted this a little bit on my feed about what he believes actually happened.
Going around about her, she bullies reporters. That was also part of it. So is that your theory of the case, Bryan, that she launched this whole thing in her own effort at PR spin and control?
I believe what happened in the case, and it's pretty clear, right? It is that press came out which was negative toward her. There was press that came out that was negative toward Justin, but these whether it's internet sleuths who are amazing, or whether it's amazing reporters went back in time and pulled videos and pulled information, and generally videos don't lie, right, about how you've behaved in the past. And they pulled that information, they put that information out, whether it was the Christy Flaw video, or whether it was other videos, whether it was the videos where she said, here's what I do, I just misrepresent what I'm trying to get a role, and then I take over the film, and or any of that stuff. I think that reporters and other people in the media played that for people, and people had a reaction to it, and there was an organic response as a result of that. I think that was too much for her. It was too much for her to believe that somebody could actually not like her based on her own belief, her own conduct. I think that was something that she couldn't handle. Whether that's whether that's an interesting narcissism quality or otherwise, I don't know. Not a doctor, but I can tell you this: the result of it was her scurrying around trying to blame someone else for why her own behavior seemed to be the cause of people not liking her.
Yep. And then he continued to talk about a little bit what's left in the cases and what the next steps are. And of course, he went on to talk about how Justin's feeling and how he's just bummed that all he wants to do is be able to have a chance to kind of represent his side and speak his side and speak for a jury and have a jury here, a jury of his peers, clear his name because he wants to defend himself. He's losing jobs. He's losing the ability to speak and work and make money. His career is suffering right now. And he even said, Bryan Freedman said, he has scored wins throughout this case. For example, when she had to pull back her claims of emotional distress, that was a huge win for Justin Baldoni. Yet you didn't see him go out and do these huge victory laps. This is a little bit about the trial, the inevitable trial that's going to happen. It looks like it's not going anywhere.
They're dancing, and everyone can judge for themselves. Again, we're dealing with people who look at a scene and say, the sky is not blue. What do you mean? That blue is not blue.
Right.
And I think that will forever be the case. But fortunately, she doesn't get to be a juror along with being the plaintiff. So we'll have different people that'll be the jurors, and hopefully they'll be able to see the sky's blue.
Well, how do you like your chances at trial? This case, put the counterclaims to the side for the moment that you guys have against Blake. You will go to trial on her claims against Justin if you guys don't settle. So how do you like your chances of prevailing in front of a jury on those?
Truth, facts, both on our side. I mean, I love our case of prevailing on the truth and the real facts of what happened. I mean, there's real-time evidence in this case. I mean, you heard Justin on the voice note. You heard what he was going through. We've seen the birthing video. We've gone through the facts, and truth is on our side. The facts are on our side. I love our chances.
I love our chances.
What are the chances now, Bryan, of a settlement in light of the ruling on her emotional distress claims and
He continues and says, there is not going to be a settlement. We don't want to settle. We want to take this all the way. He wants a chance to get to speak and get cleared by a jury of his peers. Because until he gets cleared by a jury of his peers, he is going to have the ability to, until he gets cleared by a jury of his peers, he's not going to be able to be seen as cleared in the eyes of the world, essentially, as not someone who has committed these egregious crimes as she has made him out to be. So I've always felt that he needs to go to trial with this and he needs to go all the way. And the only other way it would work is not only just a settlement, it's her publicly announcing that she has not been telling the truth and this is all made up, which would never happen. We've already seen this through and through. This would never happen. In terms of the judge and everything that we spoke about yesterday, the judge yesterday was, we had this whole conversation about the judge. And I'm sure Bryan Freedman is aware. Someone somewhere has seen Cassidy's video, has heard it. They're all watching everything. I believe even with the Karen Reed case. In fact, I watch The Lawyer You Know, who is Peter Tragos. He's been on my show before right before the trial started, the retrial. He says that he believes that members of the defense team are watching his show and someone is watching his show because a lot of things that are brought up in his show in the chat are even mentioned somehow in the defense. Like, I think someone is watching something. I don't know if Brian's watching it, but he has a huge team of people, legal assistants, paralegals. I don't even know how it works. Someone is watching something. So I believe that they're aware of it. If does that mean that they're aware of it enough to go the distance with this? Is it enough to take it to the higher level and do something with it? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. That I don't know. But I did get an email or a message from my source yesterday, Bliss, who says that she needs to send me an email so she can send a longer amount of characters. On Patreon, you can only send a certain amount of characters. And she said, I have observations from the time I worked for him years ago that makes sense now in Judge Lewis Lyman in light of his recent decisions. I've kept quiet during this whole Justice for Justin roller coaster because I was waiting for some major decisions to come out. I am a Pollyanna that tends to kick me in the teeth. And now that the decisions are egregious with prejudice, what the fuck? A couple of things seem to make some sense. And that's what she sent. So she says, I don't have a massive smoking gun. It's not like you're expecting to get something huge, like, he's accepting money from the mafia or anything, but it's all about the greed, about his financial issues. So it will be interesting. She also said, watch Ashley Brianna Eves' podcast from yesterday. I guess she covers this as well. So there's something going on clearly with this man, Judge Lyman, that is a little bit shady, and it should be looked into because I don't think anyone should be above the law, even judges. We've seen that time and time again. Judges are not above the law, in my opinion, right? Before we move on, I want to remind you guys that this week's episode is brought to you by Rula. As you guys know, it's been a very, very tough week in the world, and well, every week in the last 5 years has felt tough. And it's important to talk and have therapy. I go to therapy. My kids go to therapy. Well, not both, but one does. Who doesn't go to therapy? It's important to have someone that you can speak to, and telehealth has made mental health care so much more convenient and accessible for millions of people. However, critical challenges like finding a suitable therapist, scheduling appointments, and the expensive out-of-pocket costs still keep many from getting the care that they need. Rula is on a mission to make high-quality mental health care from a licensed professional easy and affordable for everyone. Rula has got you covered. They take most major insurance plans, and the average copay is only $15 per session. You can now get the quality you need when you need it at a price that you can afford. Rula isn't just affordable, they stick with you throughout your journey, making sure you get the best therapy and that you're making progress. With Rula, every provider is carefully vetted and chosen for their expertise. You'll always know you're in the hands of quality providers who are dedicated to make real progress. Thousands have already trusted Rula to support them on your journey towards mental health, improved mental health, and overall well-being. Head on over to Rula.com/daily dose to get started today. After you sign up, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support Daily Dose of Donna and tell them our show sent you. Go to RULA.com/daily dose and get the first step towards your better mental health today. You deserve quality healthcare from someone who cares. Thanks, Rula. Okay. So, of course, yesterday, we also had an interview from Michael Gottlieb. You know, all the lawyers are talking now. At least the reason why I'm happy that Michael Gottlieb is talking to TMZ is that it just makes me feel like now at least Bryan Freedman can't be admonished or, as we've heard, sanctioned, reamed, all these stupid words from the judge as being like talking to the press, because now we know Gottlieb's doing it too. I call it gaslighting by Gottlieb. Okay. Don't even get me started on that side. I find them all just like frustrating to me. Now, of course, I'm going to still get attacked every single time I say anything negative about Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, all of them, but I just do. I find them to be so frustrating. But what are Ryan and Blake doing so hard right now? They're pushing products, pushing products, pushing products. And I thought we were past the age and the day of celebrities pushing products. If you are so talented, if you have such talent in your life as an actor, which I thought that that's what you were, Blake and Ryan, why are you selling so many goddamn products all the time? Like, are we done with celebrity like marketing products and trying to just get us to buy more stuff all the time? All the time? So here's also the thing that I have a problem with. Blake beauty, brown beauty, hair care beauty shit. Okay, fine. If you want to sell your hair care, the one thing that you have for you, Blake, is that you have hair. Okay. You clearly have hair. You have a lot of it. Sometimes it actually looks pretty okay. Sometimes it looks like a rat's nest, but sometimes it looks pretty okay. I will say Blake Lively has a lot of beautiful hair, a lot prettier hair than I do in terms of like length and thickness. Do I think it's all hers? I don't know. Is it extensions? I don't know. Sometimes it looks okay, whatever. What I don't understand. Oh, and then the body mist. Okay, fine. You have a body. You want to smell good. Fine. Body mist. Okay, fine. Let's talk about the alcohol situation. Huh? Why do I think, and I'm not someone that like really understands products, marketing, but we'll talk about Paige DeSorbo in just a little bit. So don't you worry. But let's talk about the alcohol industry. Alcohol, the alcohol industry is crazy. It is a crazy industry. If you guys have any like indication on how competitive and how insane the alcohol industry is, I'm not in it. I don't sell any alcohol. I imbibe alcohol. Is that the word? Imbibe? I drink. I'm not someone that is constantly purchasing alcohol. I drink mostly out of my house. I'm not someone that is like constantly buying alcohol for my home. I'm usually a social drinker. So I drink usually out of the house at a bar. But I imagine there's a lot of money in alcohol. I don't know. I also imagine it's very competitive of an industry. But selling alcohol is something that only really truly makes sense to me if you are someone that loves alcohol. And for me, the whole idea that you are pushing alcohol on people when you yourself have claimed throughout your career that you do not drink is such a sick issue. It's like, I mean, I what could it be for me? It's like me pushing, I can't even think what it would be. Like me pushing I don't even know. It's just so strange. It's the strangest thing ever. It was like when Kyle Richards, for example, Kyle Richards on Real Houses of Beverly Hills, um she stopped drinking on the show. It was a very big part of the show. It was a very big part of her public life. She became sober. And yet she still was pushing because her family or her, I don't know, she was involved in this company, this tequila brand. It was clearly a financial investment. And so a sober woman is out there promoting this tequila brand. It's not a good look. Now, Blake doesn't say that she's sober. She's not an actual sober person. But why in the world are you out there claiming loudly that you don't drink and then going and trying to get other people to drink? It is so disingenuous, but it is exactly who Blake Lively is. Ryan Reynolds is the same. From what I know, he has also said he doesn't drink, but he's pushing aviation gin. It's such a opportunistic, trying to take advantage of people because it's an expensive product. Alcohol is so expensive. How much is Betty Booze? How much is Betty Booze? Betty Booze is approximately $14.99 for a 4-pack, okay? No, $18.99 at Bevmo. I guess it depends where you buy it, right? Like, it ranges from wherever you go, right? A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't like it. I think it depends on the flavors. I remember Zach Peter tried it, he thought it was disgusting. He thought but, Zach also doesn't love Blake, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it. But they have odd flavors: tequila, smoky pineapple, apple ginger, sour cherry. I mean, it's so typical of her to throw some like weird ass concoctions into a jar and say this is your drink. Um it's just so strange, right? But in the middle of this entire thing, she's still out there pushing her booze as if like she has not a care in the world. And meanwhile, Ryan Reynolds is also out there pushing aviation gin. And he decided to try to get his way back in with women like us. And when I say women like us, I mean millennial women, because he already lost us. He lost all. Oh, I just got a notification. Google Cloud users report widespread, um, widespread uh, down. What is it called? Google Cloud users report widespread outages, which ruins so many companies: Spotify, Google, Amazon Web Services, Discord, Snapchat, and probably StreamYard. That's probably why I had such an issue this morning. What do you think's happening out there? Are we going down, you guys? Okay, sorry, back to the show. So um so back to the show. Um oh my god, Michael says, "How about a dirty smear martini?" That's a great one. I'm going to go to the bar and be like, "Can I have a dirty smear martini?" Call it the Blake. If I owned a bar, that's what I would call it, the Blake Lively. So, oh no, you guys, I have to take this call really fast. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I am so sorry. It's for my kid. Hello? Hi. Um, Oh my goodness, you guys, that was the craziest thing ever. I am so sorry. If only you guys knew what that was. I'm so embarrassed. That was crazy. I am so sorry. Ah. Okay, back to where I was. What was I talking about? I'll have to like work on today's been like all over the place. I'll have to do some editing. If I'll tell you guys later what that was. Um anyway, so that's what happens when you have kids and you're the only parent and they call from their camp. You got to deal with it. Dell, you can go kiss my butt and get out of here. Okay, so back to the show. Um, where were we? So anyway, Aviation Jen. Ryan Reynolds decides to come back because he's losing the love of millennial women like us. And guess what millennial women love more than ever? We love our TV. And guess what shows we loved from the 90s? What were some of our favorite shows growing up in the 90s? What were the shows? If you're 44 years old, just like me, what was the show that you watched every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m.? The show that you would get together with all your friends in high school or whatever, and you would watch every single Wednesday night at 9 p.m. You know which show I'm talking about, right? I think I know, right? It's the show that you would watch every single night. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, ch-ch. Beverly Hills and 90210? Yeah. So all of a sudden, Aviation Gin, which is a dying brand because they never post on their stories, they never really do anything. It's just another way for marketing, maximum effort to have more products out there, or more reasons, I guess, to show Ryan Reynolds in ads, because that's really all they have. They decided to partner up with none other than Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling and Brian Austin Green. Yeah, let's watch this together. Tori Spelling and Brian Austin Green, who doesn't look great. I'm not going to lie. And I used to be a big fan of David Silver. I used to be in love with David Silver. Look at him. It doesn't look good. And let's watch this ad for shits and giggles together.
Day. And since my fiance recently and very publicly said that she wants me to father a sixth child, I'm going to celebrate with a reverse vasectomy. I have no idea how to make one, but I'm sure I can figure it out.
God, you can't do anything without me.
I don't remember our show having a laugh track.
Just read the lines. It's working. First, you're going to garnish an empty glass with an orange twist. Give it a stir.
Seems totally unnecessary.
Shh. Add 3 ounces of tonic, a squeeze of lemon. Pour in 1 ounce of cranberry juice. Add 1.5 ounces of smooth Aviation American gin. Hold this. And finally, add some ice. And voila, a reverse vasectomy.
Now kiss!
No, we're not a
Yeah,
couple.
get in there. What do you mean you're not a
Ryan.
couple? I saw you get married on TV. May 17th, 2000. I recreated your entire bedroom in my own home. Even the thread count, 80,
I
and
want
the
that.
paisley
I want-
wallpaper. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Oh, I hope they're making love.
It's Father's Day.
No, now you've gone too far. Now you've gone too far. Why are they dressed? Bliss says, oh my God, they're dressed in orange and could work at Home Depot. I think that they look like they're dressed in jail. Like, why are they dressed in head to toe orange? They literally look like they're in jail. But I agree that both Tori Spelling and Brian Austin Green are desperado for the cash. So maybe that's all they could get. Like, maybe that's all Aviation Gin could get was David Silver and Tori Spelling. In fact, if you think about it, it is kind of like low on the totem pole for Aviation Gin, now that I think about it, right? Like, actually, if you think about it, it is kind of D-list celebrity. So maybe Aviation Gin is struggling to get people to align with their brand. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. Okay, and then Blake Lively, of course, you guys all saw, I'm sure. I'll just show you just for fun. Blake Lively was out and about doing her brand pushing. What does it say about these people that all they're doing is pushing brands right now? Does it say that they're struggling? I mean, I'm seriously curious. Is this like something that like I don't know. Is this like a sign that you're out there like constantly selling products? I've never seen a couple sell so many products. Maybe not, but to me it feels like it is. But let's watch.
Launched our vodka iced teas. One is Meyer lemonade, one is passion fruit, and they really are from recipes in my home, something that we make over and over again. And the way that we know it's right is that if I can make it and then we try the canned version and you do a blind taste test and you can't tell the difference, then that's when it's great. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of rounds and a lot of people, many of whom are in this room, to make it that great. We don't use any artificial anything. It's all real fruit. And because we care about the people who are drinking it. We care about, we have our packaging is sustainable and it's so pretty. You can reuse it as bases or put, I don't know. I remember saying to them, they can put Q-tips or paper clips in them. They're like, nobody's going to do that. And then week one when we launched, all these people were posting flower bases. And I was like, see, you can't underestimate us millennials. And Gen Z is even more crafty. But we've just launched our vodka iced teas. One is Meyer lemonade. One
Elsie's
is
comment,
fruit,
but you don't even drink.
They really are from recipes.
Her hands. Let's all do the Blake with her dirty smear martinis with Aviation Gin. I hate gin, by the way. It's not personal against Ryan only, but a gin to me is disgusting. I only drink vodka martinis. Not a fan. With my flying wings. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Brittany. No offense to Mary Kay people, but this is feeling very Mary Kay. You guys, we got to move on to another story, but I have to remind you guys that this show is also brought to you by Hero Bread. And I'm telling you, Hero Bread, I'm not trying to sell you anything that I don't actually use myself. I actually eat Hero Bread. I'm not like Blake Lively. I only sell things that I personally like. Hero Bread fits into your lifestyle and health goals because it's high protein and low carb. You wouldn't even know because it doesn't taste like health food. It's actually so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in your favorite bready meals guilt-free, like enjoying a bagel breakfast sandwich, burgers, or brats with soft, fluffy buns, sandos for an easy lunch, or even meal prepped enchiladas. Their baked goods are mouthwatering while being ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and are high in fiber. They're so you can get tortillas, like I said, buns. They have these really good Hawaiian rolls. They're awesome. The plain bagels are only 4 grams net carbs, 0 sugar, and get this 19 grams of protein. So you can get your muscles on, okay? Look at these. Look at these muscles. You'd never know it was low carb and high fiber bread from the texture. All of the favorite recipes are covered. You can get 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use code DailyDose at checkout. Thank you so much. Go to hero.co, use code DailyDose at checkout. Let's move on to our next story. So this is a little tricky for me, this whole Karen Reed thing, because today on Karen Reed, this is stressful. Tomorrow, the defense rested their case yesterday. Okay, that's number one. The defense rested their case yesterday. Got it? No more witnesses. It's over. It's over. And the way that it ended was chef's kiss. Why? Because Dr. Rentschler got on the stand and said what we all believed to be the best testimony ever. He said, I don't believe that the car hit him. I don't believe there was any impact between John O'Keefe and the vehicle. And Brennan didn't know how to handle it. He was like, I object. He objected to his own wait, now that I think of it, he objected to his own questioning. You guys, I'm not joking. He was objecting. Did you guys hear that? It was so funny. He goes, there was actually no impact. And Brennan was like, I object. But you can't object to your own testimony. He goes, I object. Judge, can we have a sidebar? It was so good. He was so ridiculous. And that was how it ended. Now, originally, he was going to have his own medical expert or his own accident reconstructionist. I know it's confusing because that was Dr. Rentschler, and he was going to have his own Dr. Wenschler, something like that, to come back and do a rebuttal. This is Blue Man Group. Remember Blue Man? To come back and do his own rebuttal. And he said, no, I'm not going to have him come back and do a rebuttal because he knew that he was going to get murdered on the stand. There was going to be no way that he was going to get to come off looking good. Every single time prosecution tried to cross these smart witnesses, they dug themselves in a hole even more. Welcher. Thank you, Sarah. It was Welcher. So Rentschler kicked Welcher's ass so far that when Welcher was like, please don't make me come back. Please don't make me come back and look stupid. I can't. And Brennan was like, so you're saying that he didn't hit him with the car? It's like the worst. You couldn't ever make it end better for the defense. Honestly, there is no way that the jury, in my opinion, could watch that second trial and think to themselves at the end of it, she is guilty. Now, the question is, so like in my opinion, I am not nervous whatsoever that if she gets guilty. But the question is, will she be not guilty? And I don't know if you guys agree with that. Oh my God, Crystal's here. I miss Crystal. I haven't seen her forever. The question is, will she actually be not guilty? And this is where it gets tricky because last year, if you guys remember, there was a big issue with the charges that the judge accepted for the jury to deliberate on. And this I had no idea was an issue in court. Like, I'm learning so much. I always just thought, this is who I am, right? I'm not on trials. I'm not in juries often. I don't watch these things all the time. So this is what I always thought. Guilty, not guilty. Yes or no, basically. But it's all about the wording, and it's all about how you kind of present these things. And the way you're doing it can be very confusing for a jury. So in the first trial, let me pull up what the forms were in the first trial. I follow Christina Rex. She's a local reporter, and she sits in the trial a lot, and she covers it really well. So in the first trial, this is what their forms looked like. And remember, she didn't get it was a hung jury because the forms were so confusing. She says, if you're interested, here's a look at last year's jury verdict forms with one change. The manslaughter form said some iteration of not guilty of manslaughter or lesser included charges instead of not guilty. And if you guys in the comments know something that I don't know, please let me know here. So this is last year in the original trial, in trial number 1. Offense number 1 was murder in the second degree. It says, in the above entitled case, we, the jury, say that the defendant is 1, not guilty, easy, or 2, guilty of offense as charged, which is just murder in the second degree. Okay? And I believe in this one, and you guys tell me, in this one, she was unanimously not guilty, correct? This one, she was unanimously not guilty. Someone confirmed this for me, but I believe that's true. So she was unanimously not guilty for murder in the second degree. On offense number 2, it says manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence. And it says, in the above entitled case, we, the jury, say that the defendant is, number one, not guilty. Number two, guilty of offense as charged, manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence. And then the options were manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol and or manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol of 0.08 or greater. And then number three is guilty of lesser included offense, which is involuntarily manslaughter. And then number four is guilty of lesser included charge of motor vehicle homicide. And then there's options under the influence of alcohol or with a blood alcohol of 0.08 or greater. Andrea says, correct, Donna. The jury was hung on the second charge. They thought it was all or nothing. So it was this one that they were hung on, not on one. Okay. So they were hung on this one. They thought it was all or nothing. So they thought it was either not guilty or fully guilty, right? Because she was drinking and driving. Oh, because they knew that she was drinking and driving. So if they said not guilty, that means that she wasn't drinking. And then they didn't want to say that she wasn't drinking. So that's the confusing thing. So they should have said the not guilty, meaning she was drinking, but she didn't actually commit manslaughter. That is what is confusing, correct? So had they just said not guilty of manslaughter, but guilty of under the influence, then it would have been unanimously right there. Am I crazy in this moment? Probably. Yes. The answer is yes. But in this moment, that to me is where I feel a little bit confused as well. But I feel like, so, okay. Okay. And then the third one, which they were unanimous on, which was leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death, which was not guilty, which they all unanimously said, and then guilty of offenses charged, which was leaving the scene of an accident resulting in death. And they all said not guilty. So last jury, all unanimously said no manslaughter, not guilty of leaving the accident, but they definitely believe that she was drunk driving. So last jury all believe she didn't kill him. Correct? Dude, this is wild. Now, today in the charging conversation, and I'm trying to find like what the actual verdict forms will be today or for tomorrow. They're saying the defense has presented a proposed verdict slip for count 2, which is the confusing one. And it says manslaughter with lesser included charges too, which they say will avoid the confusion the jury faced last trial. I don't have a copy yet. Defense is requesting a repeat and more detailed curative instruction given to the jury before deliberations. They want the judge to again clarify that holes in the back of the sweatshirt, remember that, where she was like, these holes were happening by a medical examiner by, and she like ran away and she wasn't clear that they didn't happen the night of the accident. That holes in the back of the sweatshirt were cuts by the criminalist and not road rash. Judge will take the above under consideration, which means she won't. Let's be real. It means she won't. So what do you think the detailed curative instruction given to the jury before deliberations will actually be? I'm curious what they will be. Now, tomorrow, you guys, tomorrow at 8:45 a.m., which will be 5:45 a.m. Los Angeles time, they will be ready to deliberate. I'm sorry, ready for closing arguments. I believe prosecution goes first. Tell me if you guys know. And then defense. They each get an hour and 15 minutes. If all goes on schedule, 9 a.m. just say by 10:30, and then they'll do a recess maybe. And then the other one will go, and then it will be lunch. by lunchtime or by right after lunch, the jury will be ready to deliberate. If it will go fast enough, we could potentially have an answer by tomorrow. How long did the jury deliberate in the first trial? Do we know off the top of our head? Does anyone know? Let's see. Someone said get it at Melanie Little. Is Melanie Little on Twitter? Does she? Oh, I don't think she's on Twitter, does she? Oh, I don't think she's here. So, okay, this is so interesting. The question is, I want to look up, so just to remind you guys, Judge Bev reading the verdict. Hold on. So in the first trial, if you guys remember, when Judge Bev read the verdict, it was so insane and it was so crazy. It was, here, let me show it to you guys if we can find the clip. It was such an insane moment. I remember rewatching this just the other day. And it was 4 days last year. Okay, that's so interesting. Do you think they're going to need that much time this year? I feel like it's so obvious, but we've also known about so much of it. This is from last year. Let's see if we can get to the moment.
Vision is not due to a firmly believes that the evidence surpasses the burden of proof, establishing the elements of.
And again, and they, for around 3.5 hours, deliberated through the afternoon. Then this note.
Judge Cannoni, despite our rigorous efforts, we continue to find ourselves at an impasse. Our perspectives on the evidence are starkly divided. Some members of the jury firmly believe that the evidence surpasses the burden of proof, establishing the elements of the charges beyond a reasonable doubt. Conversely, others find the evidence fails to meet this standard and does not sufficiently establish the necessary elements of the charges. The deep division is not due to a lack of effort or diligence, but rather a sincere adherence to our individual principles and moral convictions. To continue to deliberate would be futile and only serve to force us to compromise these deeply held beliefs. I'm not going to do that to you folks. Your service is complete. I'm declaring a mistrial in this case. I'll be in to see you privately in a few minutes. So thank you so much for your service.
And with that, the defendant left the courtroom, as she has each and every day, because she has been out.
And that was that. And if that happened again today or this week, it can't. It can't. I saw an article that the Commonwealth is potentially planning on doing this again. There's no way. If I was a Massachusetts resident, I would be livid. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Okay, let's move on. We were talking about brands earlier. Paige DeSorbo has released a new brand. It's called Daphne. Have you guys heard of this? Daphne is her new pajama brand. And everyone was super excited because Paige DeSorbo has this like adorable fashion sense. And we talked about this pajama brand on the show. And what's so weird is this story never went anywhere. Paige DeSorbo's co-founder on her brand had gotten the ideas from a lookbook from a small little business, and she this small business owner posted a TikTok about it saying like, this sucks. She basically took my ideas through this man who I sent my ideas to, and it's all the same ideas, it's all the same marketing, it's even the same logo placement and everything. And it got taken, and now Paige is selling it, and it's crazy. And I thought to myself, like, something's going to be done about this, right? No one picked it up. No one's talking about it. Why? Why do I think? Why is it that I'm the only person that's reporting on it and one Bravo reporter who's reporting on it? Her name is XOXO, I think, Bravo Girl. XOXO Bravo Girl is her name. I'm pretty sure. I like her because she's not scared of going against the popular grain. She's a little bit like me in that way. It's because Paige DeSorbo is, the popular girl on Bravo, and people don't like to go against her in the Bravo content creator space. Okay. That's how I decided this place works. You can't go against the popular people in Bravo. You just can't. And if you do, then you're seen as a woman hater or you're seen as like a mean girl. But this is truly business. And I believe that if, I don't know, take someone that's like not seen as a popular person on Bravo, I don't know, come up with someone that's like not considered a likable person on Bravo. If they stole, according to TikTok, someone's business, I think that they would get smeared by every single content creator out there. But I guess because it's Paige, people don't like the story or whatever. They don't want to talk about it. But anyway, I did post on my stories last night that Paige, there was a clip of Paige and Hannah from Giggly Squad doing something from their podcast talking about everyone in the 1700s, all the men in like the wartime are all gay. And the way that they said it, I don't know. I had a couple of glasses of wine for my birthday. I laughed my ass off. So I still think she can be really funny. So I'm not a full hater. Don't worry. But I thought this was pretty crappy. If you're stealing, and I don't know if it's Paige or it's Paige's people, but if you're stealing a small business's designs, that's pretty crappy to do. Just saying. The point is that she has her new business out there. Daphne finally got launched yesterday. And it ain't looking so good. It ain't looking so good. Now, I would never spend $200 on pajamas because if you guys looked at what I wore to sleep, I think you would be severely disappointed because what I wear to sleep is literally a ratty old tank top if I'm lucky. That's it. Like, I don't believe in nice pajamas. That's just I don't spend my money on things I sleep in ever. Okay? I also have hot flashes a lot. Like, I'm taking off all my clothes every night. There's absolutely no reason that I'm sleeping with nice clothes. But I'm just looking at the comment section and I saw TikToks of people that are saying, I tried the clothes, I bought the clothes, I'm not feeling so good about them. And I think this is interesting because people don't like to go against Paige normally. But this is the comment section of Paige's outfit. Like she did like a get ready with me or like a try on. Where is it? Is this it? Hold on. Yeah, this is it.
Okay, I'm gonna do my first clothing haul of my brand, Daphne. I'm so excited. This is the Poplin pink set. These are the most perfect pants. Not only do they have pockets, but they also have this tie that you can take on or off. And then this matching top has these little ties on the side. This is the most perfect pink color. The back, there's our Daphne D. It's in pink and it's just the absolute cutest. Okay, this is our pointel cardigan and matching tank top. So many reasons why I love the cardigan. One, the bell sleeves. It just makes it so much more comfortable, not tight around your wrist. Then I love the invisible buttons. If you want to button it all up, it looks put together, but then you can unbutton it and you have like these three buttons, the Daphne D, and I love our label.
So look,
The Daphne D on the back. The pointel
here's
comes
what
in
I'm going to
navy
say.
blue,
I'll
white.
keep it playing in the background. You can go to Target and buy like versions of this or Old Navy, right? I mean, I'm not crazy. I don't see anything here that is phenomenal or like jumping out, but I also don't like care for, I mean, look at this, you guys. I just don't understand. Each is $200. I'm a little confused by it all. I don't personally understand like how you can spend $200 on this. It may be comfy and it may be beautiful, but that's not where I'm spending my money. But I also don't understand spending a lot of money on certain things. Like I follow a friend of mine, literally she's a friend of mine. She's not an influencer or anything. And she spent, she posted about a jean jacket of hers, a jean jacket. And she was like, I know it's a lot of money, but it's the best thing I'll ever wear. And it's $700 and it's a jean jacket. And I'm like, oh, what? Like, I don't think I couldn't spend $700 on a jean jacket. So that's just not who I am. I just don't spend a lot of money on clothes, like these kinds of clothes, right? Maybe a pair of jeans, maybe I'll spend a couple $100. Purses, maybe, yes. So like I just don't get it for pajamas. So it's interesting because a lot of people are like, what happened to the inclusive sizes and look, someone says, didn't you steal the name and designs of the collection? The fabric looks so thin and cheap. It's uncomfortable. I'm excited for this, but not anymore. I'm not a fan of this line. I like Paige, but I'm not a fan of this line. The pink bib is a very lazy garment. Da 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 da. It's giving hospital chic. It's giving Mormon undergarment. She's not even convincing me she likes this stuff. It's really bad, etc. So it's very, very interesting. And I'm curious to see what she's going to do because I can't imagine that she's ever experienced this kind of reaction to her stuff. Like, I'm very curious to see how she's going to handle it. It will be interesting to see. I'm all about not spending a lot of money on pajamas. Like, that is a very strange place to spend a lot of money on. Okay. Next, Alex Cooper. I will say and admit, I always admit when I'm wrong. When the press came out about Alex Cooper, and she had admitted that she was sexually harassed by her soccer coach, and the clip went viral over the weekend, I want to say, from Page 6 or something. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? You're just saying this now because you have this documentary coming out? I didn't realize that it was part of the documentary. I thought she just was releasing this information because she wanted people to see the documentary. Now I changed my mind. So I apologize on my stories. I was like, well, this is convenient timing to say this now because you want people to like watch the documentary. I apologize. I had no idea that this was actually part of the documentary called Call Me Alex. So looking back now, I take it back that I was like, well, this is, a trying to get people to, get eyes on her. Because I saw a clip this morning that she posted on her Instagram that really made me feel guilty for even thinking that. I had no idea that a huge part of her documentary is around this story when she was a soccer player in college, and her college coach, who actually a friend of mine went to university with her. I don't think the same age. She's older than her, but this was her soccer coach as well. She didn't have the same experience, but she knows the kind of energy in that same kind of situation. Anyway, this woman sexually harassed her, and that is that. So I changed my mind, and now I really want to see this documentary. I asked on my stories, what do you guys think? Have you seen it? And so many people said, I don't like her. I really never thought anything of her. And this documentary completely changed my mind. I find myself very inspired by Alex Cooper, and I want to learn more about her. Like, I really want to hear more about who she is. Is this the clip? This is the clip. Here, check this clip out and tell me if you guys are interested, and you're going to want to watch it too.
You could absolutely sue this woman. This is full sexual harassment. But if I'm going to be real with you, they will drag this on for years, and this will be your life, is you're the girl that's suing the coach. And they will do everything to protect this woman. And so my parents and I sit down with the dean of athletics, and my mom and dad say, our daughter has been getting sexually harassed by Nancy Feldman for the past 3 years on this campus. And from freshman year to this day, I've chronologically written every single thing down that my daughter has called me about and cried about that this woman has said and done to her. Open it if you want. Start from page 1. They kind of just like side eye look at each other. and they say, what do you want? And meanwhile, I'm like, read the book. Why do you not want to read the book? I'm saying this, and I'm like, why aren't you going to read the book? They won't even touch it.
I still get emotional about it. I said, you have no right to do this to my daughter, that this program is out of control.
And Alex grabbed his hand and she goes, Dad, stop. Just stop, Dad. And she just kind of got up and she just repackaged and she looked at that athletic director and she said, what's the bottom line deal? And they said, well, what do you want?
I want to play my senior year. I want to finish out what I worked my entire life for, but I can't play for this woman. They said, well, we're not going to fire her, but you can keep your entire scholarship. And that's it. No investigation. Within 5 minutes, they had entirely dismissed everything I had been through. He said,
unreal. So when I saw that, and I saw that immediately she had been talking to her parents for 3 years and they wrote down, I mean, how intelligent are her parents to have done that? Explain to me how, with what foresight her parents had to do that. They wrote down for years all of the examples, and still this university protected the abuser, who is still there, I believe. I don't know, actually. But her name is mentioned in this documentary. She's never been arrested. And I don't know the details. I haven't watched the documentary. But I just want to be very clear. I still believe women when you prove yourself with evidence and truth and facts. And I believe Alex Cooper. 100%. 100%. So I hear from many people that she is incredibly inspiring. I loved her parents just from watching that. And in 2 seconds, I believe her. I never have felt that way about Blake. Isn't that so interesting? Never once. She hasn't shown us shit. So now what I'm scared about is if Blake tries to get on Call Her Daddy. That's what I think Blake is going to try to do. Don't you guys think? Mark my words right here. That's going to be Blake's move. She's going to freaking try to get on Call Her Daddy now to try to connect with Alex and try to be on Alex Cooper's like side, because Alex is like this believed abused victim. And she's going to be like, I am too. And Alex is going to be like, this is such a big get. I'm going to have Blake on my show. Everyone's going to watch it. Of course, she's going to say yes. And there you go. Watch it. All right. Right? Don't you guys 100%? Like, how much should we bet? That's her next move. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for dealing with all this craziness. I'm going to edit the video and put like the title and stuff on it, and hopefully it will stay up. I'm seeing in the comments that a lot of people are having issues. Elsie and Leanne are having issues. I hope it's not going to affect this platform, Riverside, and it's just going to affect StreamYard, which is the other one that I use. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. We'll see. Love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. All right. Bye.